Hi everyone and welcome. It's great having you here with me. We're remaking Manuka Honey Oats, which is one of my all-time favorites, and my customers as well. And I decided to make a larger batch than I generally make. Now that I have my 24-pound Winston and Walter mold, it's so much easier to do this. It looks like I'm going to have to actually upgrade to their 31-pound mold, but budget permitting, right? I have just really been working that mold, and unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to film everything as much as I would like, but this one I did, and there will be another video following this one almost immediately because I've kind of have a backlog of these videos over the last week or so I want to get those all uploaded so you can see them. Here I'm just mixing the Manuka honey with some of the goat milk prior to adding it to my main blend. As I put there in the text, I do find that helps to distribute it more throughout the soap so that every bar has an equal amount of honey in it, but also it does prevent those hot spots, because sometimes when we blend the honey in afterwards, there are some bits that may not get mixed as well, and so you'll end up with little speckles in your soap of little honey blobs, or even worse, it can cause spot heating in one area and cause volcanoing in your soap, which means it basically in the mold blows up through the center and causes cracks and can be rather unattractive. And for me, I have found that this really does help to alleviate both of those issues. So yeah, just something for you to consider. This is actually today's milk, the day that I made this soap. This was milk that I had actually taken from the girls that day. I've got 6 new mothers right now, so there's a lot of extra milk. And in case you're aware of how goats and other animals work and how milk works, you may think, well, if they have babies, don't they need all that milk? And the truth is, no. With larger goats, that may be because they generally have larger groups of babies. These are small pygmy goats, and generally they have one, at the most they may have twins. But most of the time mine will have a single goat. So the babies aren't real good at going back and forth. They find a favorite teat that they like to nurse from, and they generally don't go back and forth. So by milking the goat, it keeps her comfortable. It benefits me with some great goat milk, and she's happy, the baby is happy and healthy, and everybody wins. And it's a great relationship that I have formed with the ladies. I like to think that they enjoy being milked by me and that they enjoy the relief that it gives them. And I've even bathed some of them with their own goat milk soap in the past, so it's sort of a full circle thing. This is colloidal oats, but it's not true colloidal, okay? But it's as close as I think you're ever going to find. This is made from our own inland oats that grow right here, and I do grind them up using a grain, the dry mixer attachment for my Vitamix, and I can tell you that it does get it much finer than any coffee grinder or than even the regular Vitamix mixer attachment. It really does get it very fine, and I have colloidal oats and I have compared the two. I can tell no difference. Okay, so now colloidal generally means it is the whole oat, which is what I use. I'm not one to throw away any part of anything. I try to use everything, and in this case that is what I've done here as well. Now I do put some text on the screen about this as well, but I also wanted to talk about it. I was soaping at a rather warm temperature not too high, otherwise the milk would turn orange, right? Well, you're about to see the soap turn orange, and not because of the milk, but because of the high concentration of Manuka honey that I'm mixing in here. It is a lot. It's more than I think generally people add, but I like to add a lot of honey in to my soap. And here I'm just rinsing the container with the soap to try and make sure I get all that goodness out of there. And just a moment here as I restart the mixer. Once I'm finished cleaning out the honey, you're going to see this color change quite substantially, almost to what I consider a pumpkin orange. And it changes really, really, you're going to think, oh my goodness, this soap is going to be bright orange. But I assure you that it isn't. This is a temporary reaction from the sugars in the honey to the sodium hydroxide in the goat milk solution. And yeah, I kind of sloppy poured here, but hey, I got it all in there. Except for a few drops that splashed over the front there. But surprisingly, what's wonderful about this when this happens, and this doesn't stink the way milk soaps, when they burn and turn orange like this, can have just a smell that's almost unbearable. But because this is just the honey sugars that are basically browning due to the chemical reaction, it smells like honey. It smelled just divine. Now you'll notice here that on the outside overnight, as the outside dried, it returns to that sort of tan color. And once the inside hits air for a little while, it did the same thing. As you can see in the picture at the end of the video and at the beginning of the video, that the color does return back to that, what I consider a oat and honey kind of color, right? And I was very, very pleased. Now, I had sprinkled a little bit of the oats right on top, just the ground oats on top, so if you're wondering what that is on top, I was going to put whole oats and just decided I was just going to just sprinkle some of the colloidal oats on top, just to keep it all usable, right? One note I want to add too, I've noticed a lot of people adding slices of fruit and soaps and things, and while that is very pretty, I think it's just gorgeous. The same with putting flowers into soap and things like that. Make sure that they're easily removable, because those things can mold. Though the soap is high in pH, the fruits and things that we put in them are not. So just something for you to keep in mind. So I hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun having you here with me. As always, take care of yourselves. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. See you back soon. Goodbye.